We open on a fucking statue, and another one, and another one, another, and a Blair Witch stick figure. We're in the House of Black and White. Arya is sick of her chores and wants to get a wriggle on with her training. Jacques and no one is like, yeah, nah, all men must serve, includes women. Over in King's Landing, Cersei is jealous in her box because everyone is waving at Marjorie. Her and Tomo are now married and no one dies at this wedding. They have a root and Tomo is all like, oh, did I hurt ya? Marge indicates she's had it harder and rougher before. Tomo tries to go another round. Marge is like, nah, we should get some rest. Fuck, that bad, hey? The boy man then meets up with his mother and is like, you know how you love Casterly Rock? You should totes live there. She's not having a bar of it. Marge explains what it's like to have sex with a teenager and not go to prison for it. Cersei calls her a slut. Marjorie calls Cersei an alcoholic. Cersei says, I'm going to make you very unhappy. Marge says, I have your son under control. We'll see about that. By the way, you're redundant and old. I'm gonna fucking kill you, bitch. Not if I kill you first. End scene. The Boltons are doing renos on Winterfell. Even Reek helps clean up Theon's mess. Ruse gets angry at Ramsay for butchering too many people and says, what you need is a bloody woman. What a great healthy idea. I wonder who the lucky woman will be. Shit, Sansa. Littlefinger says, after Joffrey, have I got a match for you? Sansa turns catatonic. Brienne and Pod saw everything from a cliff. They then have a deep and meaningful about how Brienne was bullied by boys, how Renly was a top bloke, and how she wants to kill Stannis. Speak of the devil, Stan is trying to persuade Jono not to be a bastard. Jono is all like, don't know if you heard, but I became Lord Commander here, so I don't want to be Jon Stark. Davos says, just because you're a bastard doesn't mean you shouldn't help us. You are the shield that protects the realm, remember? Fuck, he's a crafty bugger, that Davos. Back in Braavos, Arya gets grilled by the no-ones for being too much like Arya Stark. She ditches her clothes, the silver she stole from the Hound, the coin that got her here, but she just can't get rid of Needle, the sword Jono gave her in Season 1, Ep 2. She then returns to her training to wipe some guy with a sponge. Littlefinger handballs Sansa over to Roose Bolton. She wants to stab him in the neck with a pencil, but she plays the part. He introduces his fuckhead son. Jealous bitches. Jon sits at the big boy table and cracks awesome jokes. Happy days. Until Janos Slint disobeys an order to go live in another watchtower. So Jono cuts his head off like a fucking boss.
Lead a workshop. Remember birthdays. Direct workflow. My own bathroom.
He gets some Stannis respect. The High Septon is about to have an orgy, but Lancel Lannister and a bunch of religious fanatics apprehend him and make him do a walk of shame. He wants Cersei to arrest the High Sparrow, the main instigator. She finds the High Sparrow barefoot and pouring soup for poor wankers. Instead of arresting him, she gives him a promotion. She visits Qyburn, who is also her postman. Qyburn still has the mountain on a hospital bed, by the way, and he appears lively. Littlefinger receives a message from Cersei. Bolton says, I cracked your IP address and read it. Hope you don't mind. Finally, in Volantis, Tyrion and Varys hit up a brothel and knock back some bevies. Unfortunately, Tyrion is kidnapped by a horny, sad, desperate, depressed fucking Jorah Mormont. End. This episode was about politics and religion. More than usual, that is. The episode is titled High Sparrow, so the obvious reason for that is because the High Sparrow is the new religious kid on the block and has a bunch of fanatics starting to follow him, including Cersei's cousin Lancel Lannister. They really started to make waves in this episode. Jonathan Pryce is a mint actor to have in the role, but I don't know. I'm feeling like my religious quota has been breached. Between the faith of the Seven, the many-faced God, the Lord of the Light, I'm just feeling rammed with religion. I get it that, you know, they're trying to show thematically that religion and politics are really entangled, but it's just kind of becoming depressing because it's so close to reality on Earth. So I find myself enjoying the non-religious-y scenes the most. Brienne and Pod win Players of the Week. Pod proves he's just the best employee in the world in this scene, with his constant can-do attitude, plus being a sensitive, attentive friend when Brienne wanted to share feelings. Gwendolyn Christie really was in the zone, just kicked this scene in the dick. and it was really moving hearing about her backstory. The Jon Snow and Stannis scenes have nailed a trifecta, a bloody hat-trick, 3 eps of gold between these two. We also got some vintage Braavos. It's great to see the stark honesty meet the honesty of the Onion Knight. All humble and shit, I'm not a learned man, but here's how I'm gonna kick your ass in a fucking debate about the Night's Watch vows. Jono beheading this fucking pussy Janos Slint was great too. I love the end of this chapter in the book. In case you're feeling like Jono went too far, just think back to season 2 when Janos was the asshole going round killing Robert Baratheon's bastards. Remember that? Look at him, stabbing a baby in the brothel. So, you know, big deal, Jon killed Janos Slint. Fucking about time. This Cersei and Marjorie scene was actually a little nugget of gold too. King Tommen isn't doing much for me this season, at least when Joffrey was never present during King stuff. We knew it was because he was off being a sadistic wanker to someone. What the fuck is King Tommen doing? He seemed interested in the job last season, discussing traits of kings with his bloody granddad. Is he just off drinking pomegranate juice and patting Sir Pounce all day? Oh, and of course Sansa being married off to Ramsay Bolton is a huge play. I gotta say, I fucking love the idea. And the deviation from the books I think is fine. Hopefully it stays that way. It was a good shock moment. I did out loud go, oh no! So this is truly a fucking frightening idea. I think Littlefinger convinced her too easily, but I guess there's no available time code for her to run away, get convinced over days, blah blah blah. This little scene between Tyrion and the whore at the end was bonza. I think it's because it's the first bit of substance Mr. Dinklage has been able to sink his teeth into this season. The Varys and Tyrion banter has been fun, but Dinkles needs substance to work with. You know it, I know it, Dinkles fucking knows it, especially after he killed the woman he loves and his fucking dad last season. Also, a bonus fuck yes of the week, fuck yes Needle, fuck yes, top performance, really it's moving. The chemistry between Arya and that bloody sword is just, it radiates off the screen. I was yelling at the TV going, no, not Needle, don't kill fucking Needle. Anyway, this episode not as slick as episode 2 for me, but some great developments, so on with the show. I'd love to be watching the show simulcast from America, but unfortunately HBO gave that privilege to fucking Foxtel, so suck a bag of dicks.